So let's just settle into a comfortable meditation or comfortable seated position. So whatever that is for you. And always remember, if you turn up to one of these things late or not feeling well or think I won't go because I don't feel very well, you're very welcome. Of course, it's great if everyone can come on time, but if you are late for some reason or you've got to go to work or you've come back from work late, please don't think that you can't just pop on. And the other thing I want to just let people know is if you are not feeling very well, just switch your camera off and lie down, because it's better to at least listen to the practice and half do it than not do it at all. Did we just lose someone? We had 16. Someone disappeared? Oh, well, never mind. Let's get settled in. Let's just feel the feet, the weight of the feet in the floor. And some of you who are there this morning doing the mindfulness through of the body through touch, you might have some kind of memory of that. The weight of the feet in the floor, the weight of the legs and the ankles, sits bones in the chair, shoulders align with the hips, and just lengthen the spine. And imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light, stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And just take a nice deep breath. And then just relax from the top of the scalp all the way down to the toes. So it's, I was listening to, in the car again, Ben Borobino's edited this Mahamudra book by Lama Yeshe, and in it he was talking about, Ben Borobino was reading it, but Lama Yeshe was talking about how often in the West, meditators look really stiff. And he emphasized the importance of softness and relaxation. There's also this thing of being correctly aligned as well. So in your efforts to align yourselves correctly, try not to have too much tension in the body. It's a bit of a balancing act. But after a while, your body will find its own place, its own way. So nice and relaxed, yet nicely aligned. Noticing the sensation of the air as you inhale and exhale. Notice if there's any sounds in your environment, just allowing those sounds. And just check what's going on in your mind this evening. And try not to criticize. Just allow however it is you're showing up to show up. Just notice this river of ours that we sit on the bank of. And just notice the quality of the water, the speed the water is flowing. And then bring to mind all the people of your loved ones, the people who are strangers and the ones you don't like. And just remember they can all change place at any time. And I think we'll do this meditation this evening for the benefit of all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. And there's some very interesting things that Lama Yeshe was sharing about this Vajrasattva practice and about Vajrasattva, this deity Vajrasattva. I will share it with you when I just want to make sure I have all the bits and pieces correctly lined up before I start talking about it. But it was curious and encouraging, and Lama Yeshe has this really beautiful way of talking. He talks, these very high Buddhist tantric practices. He talks about them in terms of energy, which of course all of us here in the US can relate to. This idea of energy. It sounds very new age, but actually it's not. It's ancient. He also talked about this at the beginning line. We talk about there is no negativity that cannot be purified. And he said, the Westerners, we tend to get very nervous, quite strict, and sort of think, that we're really bad people because we've done something wrong. Oh, I broke a vow. I'm like, that's it. That's the end for me. And Lama Yeshe said, of course, it's not like that. Anything can be purified. Anything can be purified. And there's all this talk about, there's some things that they talk about, you cannot purify that. But Lama Yeshe insisted that everything is purifiable. So you have to trust Lama Yeshe's words and trust that this text, some of this text sounds like it's been based on Lama Yeshe's words. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And we think of specific actions of both our body and our speech, and then in general regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger and attachment and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. So we turn to this Buddha Vajrasattva, who we see as a, see here, he's a light body. Here, we see not this kind of painting on canvas, but we see him as sort of like a doctor who's there to help us. So not like somebody who's there to forgive us. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. He's made of this radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion, and has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are loving and compassionate and kind. He accepts you exactly as you are. Yeah, his arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. And so in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed, and those who have harmed us, by developing a wish for them to be free from suffering. So we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine doing the practice. So we start with the body, and imagine Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely, keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid, and this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatasawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shiam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shiam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasappa samaya manupalaya vajrasappa dina patita. Dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anarakta meboa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shiam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satva a hompe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Dita meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satva a hompe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hompe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Dita meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. So just be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified. And think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, which overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech, lying, inappropriate speech, and talking about others behind their backs. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa sutokaya meboa zipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa sutokaya meboa zipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Dita meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Dita meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Dita meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempi Yatasawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Hum Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech. And next is the purification of the mind. And Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So just the same as when you walk into a pitch black room and you flick on that switch, the light in the room instantly dispels the darkness. So it's the same here. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, also all your attachment and neediness, bitterness, grudges, all of this instantly dispelled. Resentment, jealousy, depression, anxiety, all instantly dispelled. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsasawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsasawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsasawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsasawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsasawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsasawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsasawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe. And so again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified. And think there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And just imagine this time Vajrasattva sends light and nectar and it eradicates completely even those subtlest imprints of negative energy. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsasawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shiyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan. Sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. And vajrasafa samaya manupalaya vajrasafa dina patita. Dida me boa sitokaya me boa sipokaya me boa. Anorakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shiyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe. And vajrasafa samaya manupalaya vajrasafa dina patita. Dida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shiyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe. And vajrasafa samaya manupalaya vajrasafa dina patita. Dida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shiyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe. And vajrasafa samaya manupalaya vajrasafa dina patita. Dida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shiyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe. And vajrasafa samaya manupalaya vajrasafa dina patita. Dida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shiyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. So now feel you are completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now the power of resolve. And this is the fourth and final step in the purification process. And it's a really crucial one because we make a decision that we want to refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind. And so without making a decision to do anything, getting up off your chair, planning a trip, walking out the door, going to get the mail. I mean, you don't do it unless you decide, right? So we decide, I want to refrain from harming. It's just really that simple. Then we get into the detail after that. So, maybe you've been working on something for a while. Maybe you have habits you're not even aware of. Excuse me. Perhaps people have very kindly pointed them out to you. Maybe you felt a little bit hurt or to hear it, but perhaps maybe it's worth reflecting. Anyway, think of something. Just one little thing, maybe for 5 seconds or 10 seconds or something. Don't have to worry about it. It's not like homework or anything, just to reflect maybe briefly. And this determination to not do something again that's harmful is what gives us strength to change. And so Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think my guru's body, speech, and mind. Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, my own body, speech, and mind are the same thing. And so next, there is this request to meditate on emptiness. So in emptiness, there is no I, the creating negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, just place your mind there for a moment. Just go into that mode. You can think of all phenomena as being empty. They're like dependent arisings. They do not exist from their own side. And maybe the way things appear to you may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created during this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And so let's just very briefly dedicate for the long life of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, dedicate this practice for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche and for any of your own teachers you know, we all have different teachers. We all have a number of different teachers. So just make strong prayers for them to have long lives. And I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. And I notice there's some new names here. So I hope you enjoyed, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Thank you for hosting, Michael and Shayla, and lots of love. Good night, everybody. Thank you.